we're going to try and get these 5 younger ones here in this pen so I can get in the arena and just kind of track them around. That's what their main reason for being here is, just so I can use them for lessons and for my horses and myself, but for lessons for tracking and breakaway roping. By the way, here's a breakaway rope, so when this gets enough pressure, this little split will pop this rope off here. So that's one form of breakaway rope. I should say their main function here is eat eat and produce fertilizer. That's what they mostly do, but little times here I'm just gonna track them around here for a little bit, just to kind of get them acclimated. You're basically training them in. You got to train in tracking rope cattle like you really do a young horse. There's a lot to it, a lot more than you realize. My arena is a little bit it's a little overgrown because it's well, it rained and it 2 inches one day, and so I was letting it dry out, and then there was threat of rain. Well, then I didn't really have my tractor. Well, now they're talking a lot about possible sprinkles next couple of days, so instead of working it up and then letting the rain get in there and taking longer to dry out, I just left it, call it closed up. So it's totally fine to track in right now. So we'll see what we can get done here. Long at all, I'll give them a second here to drink. That's where their drinker is at. I got another water over there for the couple of horses on that side. It does feed this pasture, but I actually have a 1-strand electric keeping them off of that so they get used to coming in here and drinking. And so I'll give them a little bit to drink. That went well. That took 2 minutes. They just rounded the corner. It helps when you got a good dog, good horse. Do it calmly. Cattle didn't get all scattered, so go out here and track them around after they get a good drink here, and then they'll spend the rest of the day doing it. Let them drink and then just slowly ease them through. They're not used to going through this gate. Usually it's closed and I take them through the alley and run them through the chute, but one found its way, and it reminds me a lot of, especially a trailer loading a horse. When they want to go through something, people have a tendency to push hard. That's when they say, no, trap. It's a trap. And they don't want to go. So try and actually, when they are starting to go where you want, you see the signs, their heads are pointing that way, their ears are forward, actually back off a little bit. Just get real quiet. Because once one goes through, generally the rest, if you don't push them, will. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to have a little luck. On my side, I had a little luck. Fortunately, this time it was good luck, but worked out well. So I'll track them around a little bit. Good question might be, what does that mean? What do you mean track them around? You just follow in their tracks. So this one, since he peeled off, we'll just follow his tracks. We won't cut him off. We follow the tracks he made. Now, right now, see, he knows, hey, that's where I went out. So we're not going to put a lot of pressure on them because we want them to kind of remember this is another area. This is a strip and shoot, team roping world. Take the ropes off there. And that's all closed up now because I kind of want to just track them around, get used to being tracked for people that want to get their horses exposed to cattle. Now, since this little guy went right back to where he should go, I'm going to leave him alone, backing off. See how he's going right there? He's trying to find that opening, so we'll just leave him. That's one good thing with this. I don't know if this is plantain or what grew up here in a hurry, but they sure like chewing on it. But eventually I'll have to work this up. But it's still pretty good. See them, they're nice and calm. Now, they look calm now, but it wouldn't take that much for them to start running around and kind of be crazy. And that's okay when you're team roping a little bit, but when I'm just tracking them around, I don't need them crazy. I want to keep that weight on them. That's what they're here for. It's a working ranch. It's warm. Bugs are still out. They're doing real good. What I might do, and I'd have to put this down to do it, my phone here, is just swing the rope a little bit. Maybe catch one, maybe not. Now, since they're kind of headed where I want them to go, and that one has stayed there, they've never been in here where that's been closed off. They've been in here many times. They can just come in through here on their own, eat some of this grass or whatever, and churn up the arena and dry it out, but they're always able to get out that strip chute. And now they're like, wait a minute. So don't put much pressure on them. Let my horse kind of chill out. Let the dog just hang out there. and regroup, do it again. Just keep it nice and quiet. That doesn't mean that I won't run and take off eventually, but at least if I keep it quiet, it's like a horse or any animal, they'll keep thinking. They won't just try to keep jumping through a panel or trying to get out or get stressed and be hot, you know. Just try to keep it relaxed and them thinking. Unfortunately, I didn't have it recorded, but I roped one. Sawyer did great. As soon as I roped it, it bellered, jumped around, and everybody got all wild for a little bit, and then it popped off. But it's surprising how much even, you know, crossbred calves like this will kind of perk up when they got a rope around them. But again, that's a breakaway rope, so that's designed to break off like that. And Sawyer did great. And we might do that again, or we might just open this up and let them go out. We'll see. We got another one roped. That one was a little more quiet, but he just took off, broke off. So now here's what I did, is I opened up this little wing here, kind of a guide to help these cattle go into the stripping chute. That's where we take the ropes off when we team rope. The gate's normally closed, but everything's open now. So I'm just gonna give them a place to go. If I'm training breaking these cattle into team rope or breakaway or tie down or whatever, I do this a little differently, but this works pretty good too, because that way they know that there always is a way to get out for the most part. Now, I closed it for a while just so that, you know, I can get around them and track them around. They weren't stressed at all, but it might take them a little bit to figure out it's open because they're not too worried. And then so they know, like, once they get in there, I don't even get close to them. Like, that's home, you know. They can't, they're not going to get bothered in there. So ride around a little bit, let them eat this summit. I'll maybe rope one, maybe not. Once one heads out, I'll just call it good. Sawyer and I, we got 3 roped, 3 different ones. So 2 haven't been roped. He doesn't need a whole lot of practice with it. Sawyer doesn't, so it's warm. That's good enough for me. So now this is a little different mode we're in here. This is more of trying to herd the cattle, not just track them. We're trying to make them go to a certain spot. We're going to use things to our advantage. We're going to use that fence on the right to our advantage. And already we've got a couple in the front with their ears forward. That means they're looking forward. That's what we want. I don't want them thinking about me. I want them thinking about, this is open. That one quite hasn't made the corner. I'll help these other 2 say, hey, catch up, so that when they leave in front of you, you won't get all confused. There we go. Just takes the one. And hopefully it's the right one. Now we got one in the back going, wait a minute. Now this worked this well because they've been living in this, and I've learned kind of the hard way. Whoops, we had the gate kind of swing, but they've been through enough where they're not afraid of all that. They can be real timid sometimes about things moving in front of them. And then this is all planned out here. They go out, and right there's their water. That's kind of a reward. The reward is they get out. I'm standing here. I'm not trying to track them or rope them. They're getting their water immediately. And if they want, they can head out to pasture. But that's helped tremendously. In fact, we'll just head back. Come on, Hundo. Get your toy. We'll head back here and call it good. But just to finalize that thought, I've learned that the best thing I can do is just open this up so they can kind of go in and out of this arena. I'll open that up so they can go in and out of the chute, get used to that. And I should say in the chute and out. Generally, they don't go back in the chute, which is good, so that they know, okay, when we do rope them, they come out of the chute and they go towards that end they just went, and that's their way to get out. So they kind of keep running straight and without a lot of ducking and diving. And so that was a really good thing. It's amazing how fast this will grow, but they do chew on it. But if we get out of here without a lot of rain, I'll work this up. But again, if I work this up, you kind of expose it. right now it's kind of hard and flat. It's not super hard, but it's smooth, I should say, and flat, so the water sort of runs off of it. If I worked it up, meaning if I, trying to turn the ground over or scraped it up, that water, like even where they've been walking, it'll pool in there and take longer to dry, especially this time of year generally. But even though the sun's still strong right now, it's doesn't get that 12 14 hour exposure. Now it sets earlier and comes up later, so you don't have a lot of the drying days left or growing days, but it's still good. So lately too, it's not been very